Hello, everyone. We have a few minutes until we are going to be getting started with our next session. So feel free to go ahead and grab a quick bevy, a quick snack, and then we'll pick up in just a few minutes. Okay, everyone. Had a nice few minutes, a nice little 5-minute break, and we're going to go ahead and pick up our next session. So joining me up on stage, we have Fulia from Bowery Boost. Everyone, Bowery Boost founder Fulia is a digital marketing expert with 17 years of experience throughout her career. She has scaled brands through seed funding to Series B, in addition to working as lead digital for corporate companies. Before starting Bowery Boost, Fulia worked as the head of digital at online retailers and brands including Dermstore, Briogeo, and Winky Lux. And she was brought on by L'Oreal to launch a new D2C brand. So just a amazing repertoire of experience, and I'm very excited to hear from her today. So, Fulia, come on and join us up on stage.
Amazing. Hi, everyone. Very nice to meet you all. So, I am the founder of Bowery Boost. I started agency about 5 years ago, and we do anything from, let me just share my screen quickly. We do media buying, data services. Let me see 1 second. Um, we do media buying, data services, and creative for e-commerce brands. So mainly in D2C space, a lot of e-commerce brands that we work with. I am just gonna start sharing my screen if you guys give me just a second. Um, so I think now I go, and hopefully this is working. All right. So we do media buying services, data management, and creative services, mainly for e-commerce brands. We have a lot of fashion and beauty clients, a lot of CPG, and then consumer goods. So we manage anything. It's almost like 360 media buying services. As Mia mentioned, my background is in digital marketing, almost 18 years right now, working in the city on the brand side, and now on the agency side. I started with Google Ads and data management. And then afterwards, I learned affiliate marketing. When I first started marketing, there was no Facebook advertising. So then it started, and I learned that, and Pinterest and TikTok and so on. So it's been a full journey in digital marketing, seen a lot in the market space. And I'm super excited to share some tips and tricks about this very last minute media buying for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, in addition to how to set up for success next year, actually. So I quickly mention who we are. We specialize in e-commerce, consumer e-commerce space, and super excited to again like talking to you guys about some of the techniques that we implement for our clients. Four different things that I like to dive in today. Maximizing impact through Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Of course, this is the most important thing we want to talk about right now. It is right around the corner. A lot of our brand partners already launched their promotions, leveraging competitor insights. I am going to talk about a little bit about 2025. I know we're talking like 2024 is the most important thing. It's never too early to be ready for next year as well. Optimizing creative and ad spend during Black Friday and Cyber Monday, and building a post-purchase retention plan. That is like a one very brief slide that I have some suggestions about e-commerce brands, and I guess it can be implemented into any type of brand. So preparation for Black Friday, Cyber Monday. As you guys know, There are a whole bunch of brands, they already launched their promotions right now. Reason being, it was an unstable economy in addition to, of course, like elections being here. It was a challenging brand year for a lot of our partners. So all of our advertising partners, including like Meta, Google, TikTok, they were telling us that it is going to be a longer promotional period and the deepest discounts that people are going to be giving throughout this period. So what you can do right now, and I'm sure half of you already done it, take a look at your competitive promotions to understand if you're on par with what they are doing. You really want to be as competitive as possible in the marketplace, given your profitability and your contribution margins allow. Of course, you want to take this audience acquisition, especially the first time audience acquisition, as if they're not going to convert again. So you need to be super mindful of what you're building, but you also want to be competitive while you're launching your promotions. So there was one thing that we always do in our agency and throughout my career as well, to get ready for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, late September. I mean, if everything we do Q3 is almost prepping for it, but also October usually was CPM wise not as expensive as last year. Cost per impressions were in any channel has been really expensive this October due to the elections. Engagement metrics have been really slow. So a lot of things, the techniques that we implement throughout this period to increase upper funnel awareness, we weren't necessarily very able to do that. That is another reason we were expecting a little deeper discounts this year than what we've seen next year. So building a funnel has been expensive. So that's one thing. So one quick note again about repeat versus first-time buyers is usually Black Friday, Cyber Monday is a period that we really focus on your actual funnel, your middle of funnel, and your bottom of funnel, people who already purchased from you. But in the last few years, we acquired a lot of customers through media buying as well. So we need to pay attention to it, and then we need to make sure our promotions are competitive. In addition to your offer is super clear and easy to understand. This is my product. This is my offer to attract as many first timers as possible. And then so I'm going to quickly talk about 2025 planning. I think this is really important to take action right now for next year's ease. So we do this in our agency. We build top 5 customer competitors for all of our brands, and then track what they were doing pre-promotions, during, post promotions, holiday season. Everything is like pretty much like tracked down. I do suggest doing that just to understand where you stand again, and then for you to have an understanding of what to expect next year too, and also saving the ads. Like if you see your competitors running some ads and you like, just save them. And then also inspirational brands, any brands that you like, look at what they're running and then just kind of like save it for inspiration for next year. So we use a tool called Foreplay for this. Even if the companies pause their ads, you can access to it through Foreplay. I'm sure there are a whole bunch of other tools out there. So saving those will give you a lot of comfort, I guess, next year when you're looking into your Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Again, planning ahead. It's never too early for Black Friday, Cyber Monday. For a lot of our brands, this is the major period that we make almost 50% of their revenues. So you don't, I mean, as much as we're going to be talking about last minute tips and tricks, you really don't want to be super last minute for this. And segment your customers during Black Friday, Cyber Monday. I'm going to talk about the audience acquisition, especially the first time audience acquisition for Black Friday, Cyber Monday. We did a lot of research that I'm going to dive into in a second, but you need to compare LTV, lifetime value of this customer that has been acquired during Black Friday, Cyber Monday. You need to segment this audience and then treat them a little differently than your average customers. So I actually touch base like 2 different things is what I'm going to explore right now. One of them is you already launched your promotions, and then the other one is you're about to launch your promotion. So initially, what to expect during Black Friday, Cyber Monday, even if you're live right now. No matter what you do, if you stay as is, your promotions are the same, you will still see a peak during Black Friday, Cyber Monday week. People have their carts, people are ready to shop. So this is a time period that are ready to, your conversion rates will be higher. Even if you don't do anything, you'll definitely see an increase in your, I mean, mainly, I guess like you will see still an increase on your conversions during Black Friday, Cyber Monday. But that was a recent research, and don't quote me on it. I'm not necessarily sure if I remember the percentage correctly. And it's more so for beauty brands, but Glossy was saying about 67% of the brands are saying, even if they launch their promotions, they're going to add something additional. So it's always good to have something in your back pocket. If your sales are not playing along the way that you want it, just add something on top of it and see how much incremental revenue that you can, I guess, do in this very, very important time period. Again, when we are saying add something extra, but profitability is the most important thing. Whatever you do, you need to make sure that actually works for your brand. When you're comparing yourself to other companies, you don't necessarily know their margins. So you have to be super smart about this acquisition, as if they are not going to convert again, and ideally they would. And then now talking about, again, like early promotion launch. This is the part that you launch your promotions already, but you're seeing really high CPRs, CPAs, cost per acquisitions, and your CTRs, click-through rates, are low. So what to do in this case? Test and tweak. So last year, actually, the clients that performed the best were the ones that were live with us, actually adjusting sometimes offers, creatives, messaging on the go, so that we can make sure that we can get the best out of this period. This year is a little longer, but usually it's a shorter time period. But if you're right there and then just kind of like testing out different things, there's a chance that you can increase your conversion rates. So my suggestion sometimes, especially right now, we still have 2 weeks before Black Friday, Cyber Monday. If your offer is not resonating, if you're not necessarily seeing the results that you want to see, there's one thing that you can do. You can segment out your email list to small segments. Every rival is the same, engagement metrics, etc., and send out different offers to all of them in a very, very small, of course, like amounts of people. Find out if there's an offer that just works better, CTR wise, open rate wise, and then you can implement it and test it out and paid before testing out a lot of offers and paid and spending a whole bunch of money there. Adjusting your creative helps a lot. Even like adding a contrast sometimes work. Adjusting your CTA, making it bigger, etc., might work. So if your numbers are not working, like offer usually is the most important thing, and then creative comes. It's almost always make or break. So your creative can be adjusted during this time period. You can always rewrite ad copies. Like we're humans, we're talking to, there's a lot going on in the world. You want to be engaging, you want to be relevant. So copy tests sometimes help out with the CTRs as well, and eventually driving some sort of site traffic to your site. As much as I'm talking about testing, avoid excessive testing. This is not a time period you just start like testing a whole bunch of different creative concepts as well. You really be mindful of what you're doing. Using tried and tested creatives rather than experimenting, it will be your best bet. Like whatever worked, just implement it. I'm going to talk a little bit more about creative in a second, but it's just that testing and iterating is more so what I'm focusing about, other than instead of adding a whole bunch of different concepts and just kind of like making it a learning phase, which is not a learning phase. And then focus on optimizing assets that deliver strong performance to maintain consistency and maximize conversions during this very, very important phase. So these are some of the techniques that we implement, especially if you're not live yet. So this is, I believe it's the 13th. You're not live yet. If you're not live with your Black Friday, Cyber Monday deals, you're still building your funnel. So this is still the time that you can acquire the first-time customers, first-time viewers to your site. So there are a whole bunch of different techniques that we can implement. I'm going to first mainly talk about, these are a little bit meta, but I do have some channel suggestions too. So especially if you have a high AOV, adding an add to cart, initiate checkout campaigns, your campaign mix will get you some cost-effective clicks and a lot of add to carts as well. So right now what we are doing is, because we know cost per impressions are already high, a lot of brands are live. If not live, the competition is right out there. So you're trying to get the most cost-effective clicks and cost-effective site traffics and eyeballs to your site and then to your ads. Going a little lower in the funnel can help you there. So add to cart campaign is always one of them. And even if you don't have higher AOV, we do implement that, especially if the budget allows for our customers, just prior to the sales, to just, again, like to get the eyeballs as much as possible. So there's another scenario. Let's say October was a tough month. We were seeing high cost per impressions. CTRs were not amazing. So we weren't necessarily able to build that funnel. And if that's the case, and because of that, you cut your budgets, and all of a sudden you didn't spend in the last few months, video campaigns for engagement does work actually. So if you build a video that is actually built, that is tested again, either your brand story, something that tells why you started the company, what is your product, and why people need this product, using engaging videos, some UGC assets, and then building a middle of funnel audience to target the customers who engage to a certain percentage with that video might work well for us. Video view campaigns usually gets 1 cent per, runs 1 to 2 cents per view. Of course, I'm not counting on every view. You really want to get into these people who actually engage with the video rather than just saw a second of it. Landing page view campaigns does work as well. I'm going to talk a little bit more about how to evaluate the quality of this campaign, but it is one of the most cost-effective ways to get site traffic as well. So you can use a landing page view campaign or utilize different channels. Landing page view campaigns drives better, higher quality of traffic than the regular link click campaigns. I'm specifically talking about Meta, Pinterest, and TikTok. So you can also utilize that with a very small budget to make sure you're driving some sort of a site traffic. Whatever you're doing on upper funnel, you have to make sure that you're building a middle of funnel to capture that audience with your offer, with the biggest offer that you have right now. So we have tested a whole bunch of different channels throughout this year. And we always compare when we are looking at the marketing mix, we always compare which channel is driving certain aspects of the marketing, right? So Pinterest throughout the year, even with a conversion campaign, the cost per clicks that we usually see, it's industry specific, but mainly what we saw, the cost per clicks from a Pinterest conversion campaign is almost very similar to an add to cart campaign on Meta. And the quality of the Pinterest users on site is actually super high. So if you want to go ahead and do that, and if you tested Pinterest before and you already have some data around it, it's a great channel to fill your upper funnel. As I mentioned, Meta landing page and add to cart campaigns always works to just get that traffic and fill the funnel for your retargeting campaigns when the promotions launch. And then we've been testing demand gen on Google, which we actually really like. Again, we usually just utilize that campaign type prior to some promotions or launches to increase the awareness. It is, again, another channel that drives really high quality site traffic, cheaper. You don't necessarily get conversions out of it, but you're filling the funnel. And this is what we are trying to do, filling the funnel the most cost effective way possible. TikTok is a great channel to add for awareness. If you haven't tested TikTok, I do not suggest adding it right now. TikTok needs a proper content strategy, and it consumes content a lot faster. If you've been active on the channel, you can always build a one shot, that one level down campaign to increase again site clicks. But then again, you need to have a strategy for TikTok. It can't be I have 4 ads and I can run on it. It wouldn't work like that. You really need to fill the campaigns more often than any other channel we're discussing right now. What to pay attention when you're adding an upper funnel campaign to your mix right before the promotional period or anytime. So sometimes we run landing page view campaigns and it drive 12 to 15 seconds on site. That's an okay traffic type for me. If it's if the cost is allowing us to actually continue that. Seconds on site is very, very important. So these metrics, you can track it on your Google Analytics. So if you're adding something upper funnel, you need to make sure that you're actually tracking the quality of that traffic on your Google Analytics or any tracking platform that you use. Seconds on site, pages per session, very important. You're running a landing page view campaign, you have 2 seconds on site. You really don't need that campaign. It's not necessarily a qualified traffic. That is the most important thing while we're running anything upper funnel, that it is actually qualified. Channel ROAS is important, but if you're actually using an attribution channel, it is super important to pay more and more attention right now to what they're reporting for you. So this is a super basic Meta promotion campaign setup for us. And again, it always depends on the budgets. There's one thing we don't like doing is if you have an evergreen campaign that you've been running, we suggest keeping it active again if your budget allows it, and build a promotion campaign separately. Because once you pause all of these promotions, you really want to fall back to something that is, you don't want to start from scratch. And if you pause something or you mess up your campaigns with adding a whole bunch of promotional assets in the mix, it might get a little messy. So I suggest an open cap advantage. Middle of funnel is a very important part of this process. Retargeting, add the cards and page views, engage with videos 25, 50%, whatever makes sense. Engage with your Instagram and Meta posts and ads. That's a large audience if you build your funnel. There is one very important part of it as well, your bottom of funnel. So you need to utilize your email service provider a little more this period as well. As much as you sending emails is more cost effective, it is going to be really noisy. It's going to be super crowded. Having one more touch point wouldn't hurt. So you can pull your churned audiences from your ESP and upload it to Meta, or any platform, not engage with your emails for the last 60, 90, 20, 120 days, whatever engagement means for you. If somebody is not engaged based on that criteria, add that to your meta too. It's usually very cheaper to convert these users compared to just the first time customers. So you do want to have those audiences built out on your paid advertising platforms as well. Top of funnel, we don't test out audiences, but we build audiences for promotional campaigns as well. They're usually the audiences that worked throughout the year. So if you were doing like manual audience tests, whatever worked, you can also like carry it for your promotional campaigns. And scaling, it is a little more flexible during Black Friday, Cyber Monday. You can actually just scale earlier in the day and later at night, as much as it is still a learning phase, because these periods are so short. Doesn't necessarily. I usually personally don't worry that much about the learning phase or resetting it, but if you do it early in the morning, late at night, you usually don't mess with it. And sometimes, like Meta, especially Meta, gives us the capability to scale a little faster. You really need to be there by the computer to see what the numbers are showing. And again, like if you have an attribution platform, it's a lot easier to take action too. And I do have a couple of points to discuss that. So creative is one of the most important parts of this process as well. So we do not suggest like testing a whole bunch of new stuff in the game. So we want to look at whatever worked for you last year, take those learnings. Whatever worked for you in 2024 during the promotional periods, you definitely take those and implement it. That being said, pay attention to what worked and why it worked as well. So let's say there was a Barbiecore movement and your pink creators were killing it. It doesn't necessarily mean you got to carry it net right now. You really need to know why a certain creative worked. And if you keep track of it, you most likely know. But if something worked during another promotional period, you can replicate it for your Black Friday, Cyber Monday campaigns. Very clear offer and product. This is offer. We really don't want people to think that we want them to take action. And then another thing that worked really well for the sake of like CTRs, again, if you know your evergreen assets that perform really well, you can add like in Black Friday, Cyber Monday sticker on it or update the copy and then just run it. It does help a lot, and it does, you already know those are working. Just iterating a little and then adding it to the mix doesn't hurt. And then we do suggest like stills, GIFs, videos, and carousels in the mix. Every brand is different. Something works for some, something doesn't work for some. And we know usually stills delivers cheaper CPCs, but you still want to have a mix. And then another thing is do not forget your dynamic feed, especially under your middle of funnel campaigns. If you want to build collection style ads with more control, you can definitely do that. And then on special paid social platforms, just make sure your shops are activated for the easiest conversion for your customers. Quickly going to talk about the users that are acquired during Black Friday and Cyber Monday. So there had been a lot of research that I did, especially when I was working on the brand side, to understand the LTV of the users that are acquired during Black Friday and Cyber Monday. So usually when you're offering your deepest discount and acquiring user, it's a little harder to convince them to actually become full price customers. So it takes a little longer. We do suggest segmenting them out. So segmenting them out and treating them differently until they hit your criteria. So it's a little bit more, I guess, like funnel building for the users that you're acquiring during Black Friday and Cyber Monday season. So let's say you build a full welcome flow, you're just constantly tapping into them, trying to convert them into a full price customer, and they're not converting. There are a whole bunch of things that we can do for them in order to convert them to customers, so full price customers, or keep them as a promotional customer. So target them with promotions during the year. If you're resegmenting them, keeping them in separate segments, you can just hit them up with any promotions that you run. There was another thing that I used to do when I was on the brand side, which is like a very traditional postcard campaigns that we used to do. It's a lot cheaper than some of the it's a very cheaper way, like something like Postcard Mania. It takes like 10-15 cents per print, and then you can send those to the Black Friday, Cyber Monday users that you acquired during that period and they didn't convert. Postcards do perform really well, and also there's another part of it that those users are you're just sending a postcard to a household, so there are multiple impressions coming from one postcard, and it used to be one of the highest return investment campaign style that we use, given that audience is, we couldn't convert them with emails, we couldn't convert them with ads. That might be just another touch point that you can add to. So, of course, next year during Black Friday, Cyber Monday, you want to talk to them again. And then there's one thing that I do suggest while you're building your lookalikes in Q1. It's very, I guess, it's a good way to think about segmenting them out from your lookalike audiences that you build, especially if the audience that you acquire during Black Friday, Cyber Monday is not necessarily delivering the short-term LTV, I guess, in a way that you're, I guess, like expecting from them. So if you segment them out and then build your lookalikes from the period before, the quality of the audience might be slightly higher. And then the last point that I have is the attribution strategy. So marketing, especially digital marketing, has been very different in the last few years. D2C, I guess, like changed a little. So we are really looking at it as a full funnel approach. So anytime you're using an attribution as attribution platform, we are really looking into not only like last click or linear and linear paid, we are looking into triple attribution if you're really utilizing triple well as well to see the impact of one particular channel in your marketing mix. Not now though. When it's about this period of Black Friday, Cyber Monday, you can be a little more conservative and very strict about certain channels and cut them out from your mix. For example, Pinterest attribution usually on the platform is 30 days. We see decent attribution because it's taken attribution from 30 days. Even if you limit it to 7 days, you see decent metrics. But when you're checking on an attribution platform, it usually doesn't add up. So during this time period, if you have a channel mix and you're looking at it in the last click, linear paid, linear all, and there is one channel, two channels that are really not delivering, it's okay to just cut them out right now and redistribute the budget. It is one of the most important time of the year, and this is not a funnel building time. This is a conversion period. So we really want to convert and just literally convert now. So you can put your budget on whatever is working. And then again, if you're using an attribution platform, I think there is one thing that might happen, right? That data delays can always happen. Attribution platforms gives you what is happening. So you can optimize based on whatever the attribution platform is saying for all of your channels. So you can just spend more time there and then understand what is working and what is not working and take action a little faster than you would normally do. Because again, with this is such a small period of time and you want to get the best out of it. You really want to like be there, understand what's working for you and take action, iterate, add whatever is needed to the mix without going crazy with testing, and then eventually get the best out of your budget during that time period. So that pretty much like covers the things that I wanted to go through. Competitive analysis, super important to look into what your competitors are doing. A certain campaign setup that you can just implement or not implement or take inspiration from, creative and how important that is, and really focusing on the retargeting audiences and the audiences that you acquire during that time period. That pretty much like covers everything. Thank you, everyone, and wishing you all a strong Black Friday, Cyber Monday season.
Thank you so much for such an amazing presentation, Fulia. And we are coming up on time, so I'm going to go ahead and choose our giveaway winner for your giveaway item. Everyone, on behalf of Bowery Boost, they are giving away a Bowery Boost gift card that is eligible for a variety of different brands. So I'm going to go ahead and scroll through, and we'll choose our winner. Okay, congratulations, Kyle Historlo. You are taking home a Bowery Boost gift card today. Amazing. Thank you so, so much for your time, Fulia. It was such a pleasure having you on stage today, and we'll chat soon.
Thank you. Take care.
Amazing. Before we move on to our next session, I want to do a quick vibe check. How is everyone doing? How is everyone enjoying the sessions today? I hope y'all are taking away so many amazing insights and action items. So let us know in the chat how you are feeling. We're going to do a quick vibe check. We're doing good. We're loving it. Snacking and making some notes. I love it. Amazing. Okay. The energy is so high. Perfect. So, with that said, we're going to keep things rolling and we're going to go ahead and move over to our next session. And I'll see you guys soon.